isu tekangan yang paling utama sebagai pengilang promo tekangan dari segi keuangan, keuangan dan juga machinery lah selain daripada orang dan juga selain pada 3 tekangan ini ada satu lagi tekangan iaitu biasalah manpower dan skill manpower skill dan harapan tersendiri. Apa yang membezakan perjalanan kita adalah kebutuhan yang diperjuangkan dan segala susah payah serta menandungi ditempuh terdahulu atas kecekalan dan percaya dengan impian. Semua orang mampu mencapai kejayaan. Ini adalah kisah mereka yang mempunyai impian yang besar. Kami telah membantu mereka di luar sana. Furniture brand is basic. But this includes. So what we are doing in between a traditional and modern business. So firstly, we market our product still through our custom project base. So we try to encourage our project in using most of the project as much as step will be on how to sites, our social medias, and the internet platforms to help people visualize more on our started our first basic training. So we started to implement on our projects. We mix products. That's our selling point. We realized the acceptance of our furniture design is increasing as it fits most of the markets. Our target in 5 years' time is to expand and increase our exposure through different crossover of industry. So we are looking forward to more retail and also collaborations with other fields of design industry. I was the participant in the furniture design company, which is MTIB, organized by Design Center and MTIB. So that is when I got into the finalists and I started to get to know Design Center and also MTIB. With our relationship with MTIB and Tangam, we get the opportunity to explore a lot of potentials in new materials such as polyline, bamboo. Those materials where we can easily get in Malaysia, and through our research and studies, we managed to commercialize this material into furniture. And this furniture eventually will bring more values and to help raise the awareness to people regarding the importance of furniture design. I'm also one of the Tangam designer under Tangam Design Center, and Tangam Design Center is funded by MTIB. So through this platform, our furniture brand actually gains a lot of opportunities to actually expose our brand in Malaysia through exhibitions and also international exhibitions such as the Saloni Sekretariat and also in Dubai and Australia through this Tangam Design Center platform, which is marketed by MTIB. I believe we as a furniture designer or a furniture entrepreneur, we guys always take risks. We must be willing to try anything that is possible, especially in these period of times. So we must always willing to explore more, willing to try, willing to do anything, or willing to go even further, which is more than the industry of furniture. So we can go to explore into fashions, in graphics because all this exposure and knowledge is what will help you to develop your own furniture brand or your own. In this pandemic, we are actually going through a lot more studies and research on our furniture design. How can we improve from the design perspective in terms of increase the values in our business? So I believe during this pandemic, instead of saying looking for the will to survive, but we are looking for the will to improve ourselves to be better for the next new normals situations. Our main challenges in running a furniture design company is acceptance of the people, not only in Malaysia but also internationally. Sebuah pasti ada istilah Anda sendiri. Namun apa yang membezakan perjalanan kita adalah kesungguhan yang diperjuangkan dan segala susah payah serta onak duri ditempur terdahulu atas kecekalan dan percaya dengan impian. Semua orang mampu mencapai kejayaan. Ini adalah kisah mereka yang mempunyai impian yang besar.
Hello, everyone. Hi and greeting. Thank you and thank you for staying with us. Once again, I really apologize for the technical issues. So welcome to our international webinar series 3. So this webinar is organized by Center of Studies for Interior Architecture, Faculty of Architecture, Surveying and Planning, University Technology Mara, Malaysia. Our webinar is sponsored by Malaysian Timber Industry Board, MTIB. I'm Nabila, co-host for today's webinar session, together with interior designer Muhammad Noor Arifin as a moderator. And I would like to present to you our speaker for today, Stefan Schöning, was born in Antwerp, Belgium in 1968 and graduated in product development at the Henri van de Weyve Institute, Antwerp. He set up an office for industrial design in 1994, working for clients in Belgium, Netherlands, Italy, Germany, and the USA. So in order to release personal ideas in limited editions, he created the design label Polyline in 2001. Recently, the studio has extended its activities with commissioned design, public and interior design, architecture, and production. Folder, a chair in true origami style, was his first project for Polyline in 2001. The folded polypropylene sheet, which is cut, scored, and folded into a chair, has been exhibited in numerous places such as the National Design Museum at New York, the Nike Design Library in Oregon, USA, College in Paris, France, at 100% Design in London, UK, at Salon Satellite in Milan, Italy, and it has present regularly invited to important exhibitions. So in 2004, Stefan Schöning was awarded the contract to design and develop a new corporate identity for the Belgian railways. So the principal idea of the design is to limit all visual litter and guide the traveller with ease and comfort, hence the use of soft, rounded corners and the presence of white as the main colour. So the product has since traveled to exhibitions in Seoul, Korea, the Design Museum in Zurich, Switzerland, Interview 06 in Kortrijk, Belgium, and received the IF Product Design Award, the Red Dot Product Design Award, and the Henri van de Weyve Label 2006. The railway clock has also been exhibited at Global Edit 06 Wallpapers 10th anniversary at the Armani Teatro in Milan, Italy during the Salon del Moba 2006. Furthermore, the office was awarded the restyling of the traffic lights in Flanders, commissions by the Flemish government. The adaptations of the design to all kinds of traffic situations was one of the decisive assets in these competitions. Likewise, the soft style, which reduces aggressions, was equally important to the jury. The entire development of this project has been executed by Stefan Schöning's studio. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our speaker and moderator to the stage. The floor is yours. Welcome.
Hello,
Thank you.
welcome.
Hi, Stefan.
Hi,
Hi,
Stefan.
Noor, how are you?
Yeah, sorry to invite you in early morning.
That's a
Weather
quite.
outside?
No, it's no problem. It's just a
Okay.
rushing hour.
Yes.
You hit me right in the rushing hour, so I'm sorry about that.
Sorry.
But
Okay.
this is a better time to start talking about design from
Yes.
draft to craft.
Okay, thank you again. Okay, I think what we're going to discuss today is basically the format is basically if I have something to ask, then I will ask you directly. Then we can more light on the presentation, and we're going to talk about your design ideas and interpretation to the final outcome. So I think that is the main agenda for today. So I'll give it to you, the floor, for you to present
Yes,
your work. Thank you, Stefan.
please. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I'm going to share with you. We did a lot of projects in the last year, especially also in according to the PDP program.
Yeah.
We've been developing a lot of programs, but I will pick out only two. I will pick out the first project, and I will pick out the last project which we did, because it then could be interesting to see the difference in the developing process, the way to work in a country as Malaysia for a foreigner as we from Europe. So the main focus of the PDP program was to introduce European-oriented design, the thinking of design of European-oriented designers related to the development of products in Malaysia, which was for us a complete discovery. And I want to start with the first program, which was in 2016, I'm sorry, which was for the company Zone. The interesting thing is that was a company who was developing furniture for the office industry, and to them we wanted to develop a complete new program in order to make ideas which were related to the then called status of office design, which unluckily during the recent period of the pandemic has been completely changed. So everybody now is working more from home and more separate and more divided, as were in those days the idea was to more like working in co-spaces and exchange spaces and etc. So it's interesting to see in these only 5 years how the time has evolved.
Okay.
First, I will share with you the presentation of the end result, because I think it's interesting to see what we presented in the fair, in the EFE fair in 2016. And let me try if I can share you the results. I think you must. Can you see this slide?
Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah, hello.
Hello. Okay, so this was the presentation. As you see, it is dated 5 years ago, and I always introduce the presentation with to show who we are and a little insight of the office. So you can see here how the office looks like. And we are a small studio, European design studio, who is based in Antwerp, in Belgium. And we established the real studio established in 2000 by myself. And we are a design and developing studio of furniture mainly, but also products, and recently products in the public design. We are 3 full-time workers, and we also work with internships. And we have an average turnover of 320k euros in the last 5 years, which can be up or can be down related to the contracts. What we do is, as I told you, we are a multidisciplinary design office in different kind of fields, mainly furniture and appliances for the home, As you can see, left corner is a chair for a Swiss company. Then we see the polyline chair, as was told or talked about in the introduction. But we also work for the industry who is making appliances for the home, which are shown in international fairs like Ambiente in Frankfurt in Germany. In the third project I will show you later will be a product which is into this industry, which is cookware. As you can see, we do also lighting, cutlery, public design, outdoor furniture. This is the project we did for the National Railways. This is the clock, has also been introduced in the introduction. Thank you for that. This is the chair, Lazy Sunday, lighting, industrial lighting. As you can see, it continues on with furniture, mirrors, coat hangers, pottery, and the traffic lights, which was also spoken about in the introduction. More sofas, more public chairs. This is a small table for an Italian client. This is the kind of cookware we will discuss later about. And this kind of image represents a part of the public design we did for the National Railways. So the briefing for the company zone was, okay, the way we work is today is changing because we have no more one space to work, but we have different kinds of spaces, but also different kinds of tasks. So the agile working is has led us to 5 new types of working zones. As previously, this picture is a picture of the 1950s, 1960s, where people worked in big spaces all together. We are now trying to evolve to a more agile working, which means that we need a team with static jobs, administrative, collaborative jobs, etc. Breakout informal rooms, which is a timeout zone, which is more informal, which can organize low-key meetings. We need touchdown spaces for short duration tasks, reading or writing in silence, and where you need access to internet. And we need a quiet zone, of course, where quiet working is intensive, also for training purposes and meetings. Can be formal or confidential, so this needs to be executed in a more protective way. And last but not least, we need storage and resources, which mean library, copying, printing, etc. So for this project, we focused on these 3 elements: the breakout informal zone, the touchdown, and the quiet zone. So this was the focus we set up from the beginning in order to focus and to come up with a product which can be giving giving answers to this setup ideas and proposals. As you know, the brain we work all with as designers, but everybody has 2 halves, and the left part of the brain is rational and the right part is emotional, and these 2 has always to be in balance. This is one of the design rules we always try to apply. So if we think about rational design, we think about price, about quality, we think about sustainability, which has been recently more and more important and will be in the next decades. Durability, which of course is also related to sustainability, and it needs to be discovering, meaning that if you bring a new product to the market, it needs to be new and should discover a new market. From the right hand side of the brain, we think about emotions, and if we relate this to the assignment of this in this case, we think of formal, we think of expression, we think of character, and we think of embracing the design. So the design concept, in the end, I will show you later the process, but here I will show you firstly the result. Is working together apart is the name or the subtitle of the title of the project, which is called Link Space. So linking spaces of different users for different reasons and at different levels. Our design inspiration came from architecture in Malaysia. As you can see, the typical Malay houses have poles which stand on ground, and that is in order to organize or to come to a natural ventilation system, which is very interesting if you have a deeper look at it. But the characteristics of these typical Malay houses was the inspiration to make the link space design. So meaning that we are going to make a system of soft wall panels, which are basic pieces in three forms, and which can be connected with poles in wood, especially local wood, and then they can create any link in any space. So in the end, we came up with this kind of result, which is quite easy if you look at it, and but because the basic forms are quite simple, but the result can be any kind of configuration. So this is the more technical part on which we will have a deeper look in another presentation. But as you can see, with the simple connection of an intermediate panel, we can connect all the pre-made pieces into a shape of a small breakout place, or maybe another color, or with a lamp, or with a stall, or a separate space, or a bigger space, in order to make a meeting or a presentation, and etc. So as you can see, the principle is connecting different panels, straight panels and corner panels, into architecture. The material for the panels, as I told you about the sustainability, which is much more becoming much more important in the next years and the next decades. We definitely try to find a material which is recyclable or even recycled already. And for the soft panels, we found a material which is made by collected PET bottles, which are sorted and shredded, and after they are needle punched into a non-woven insulation system, which is interesting because you can put it in a variety of different colors. It is environmentally friendly. It is lightweight. It has a soft touch, and last but not least, it has a good noise insulation. For the wood, we think of course the local wood in Malaysia, which can be very attractive. We thought of Nyato wood, I think. Let me check. The next slide, you can see that Nyato, yes. Nyato is a trunk which goes up to more than 3 feet. The diameter of the trunk is up to more than 3 feet, which is interesting to get to. Which is interesting to make the straight pieces we need to make the connections, and is a wood which is very regularly resourced in Malaysia. I have to quit this because I'm trying to. Okay. So now, as you can see, we can make a connection between the different pieces and connect it to a bigger space, or another configuration with other connections, other colors, other functions. So in the end, we came up with a whole different, an whole process of solutions for the office. So if we can go to the next presentation, it will present you the way it all came together. Do you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, sorry, just to check. So this is the same company. This was the briefing. As you can see, it's already 5 years ago, so some of us will be looking a bit more mature and in the picture. And this is the first thing we do, is to have a look in the company and to have the briefing of the owner of the company with his ideas. And then to have the first step we always do is to have a deeper look into the company itself, to see what kind of machinery they have, what kind of process they have. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I think you're not showing the correct image.
Let me check.
I think the one that showed, correct.
I'll go back then.
Okay, yes, okay.
So this is the start. The first thing we do is make a proper visit to the company and listen to what the owner of the company has to tell us about his ideas about the briefing. But most important is that we have a deeper look in the production capacities of the company, what they can do in-house, what they can do out-house, and then we come up with the idea. We make a presentation, which I will show you in the third presentation of this zone presentation. So we make the technical drawing, we make the renderings, we make the technical details. Quite important in this situation, we make the sampling. Sometimes we do it with pieces we can find on the market and which we will integrate, but sometimes we need to make own pieces like this one, and this is going to be made in the company itself, as you can see. So it will be always a mixture of own production and supplying. So the supplying is mostly come from the country itself. Sometimes what the polyethylene fleece material means is coming from China. But as you can see here, we started up making the mock-up, the first tryouts, and then making choices in the colors for the presentation of the fair, making the sampling of the panels, and finally the presentation in the fair. So in the same way, I want to show you the presentation, how we came to the idea. And what is this? What do you see at the moment?
It's a white screen.
I'm trying to. Okay, you can see it. Huh?
Okay, can see.
Can see. So what we do is this is the result of the briefing we had earlier, and then we'd start to make the sketches. So all the way through, what I do today is go from the end result to the beginning. Okay, so just to give you an insight of how we come to the result in the end. So in the first sketches and ideas, we were making these kind of sketches and presentations. And it's very important to get a very hands-on discussion with the client in order to see if what he has been doing in the or telling in the briefing is one-on-one with what he has in mind. Sometimes the briefing can change because we can have insights in the market or have discussions on market studies, which will result in a way. In a change of the briefing, but in the end we came up with a system which is kind of what we saw in the final presentation. Okay, do you have any questions on this, please? Because then otherwise we will go and continue with the next.
I think what inspired you to use the Malay house as part of your design process?
Actually, I was looking to make a panel system. Which is a small kind of architecture in the office environment, and I wanted to make it lightweight in order also to not overwhelm the interior design of the office, so that the panels can be mounted very easily. And in order to find a formal solution, this is the left side of the brain, is about emotions and about inspiration. I was looking into the history of the Malay architecture, and what is very typical is that the Malay house on the poles is different in any part of Malaysia. But it's always on poles.
Yeah.
So the thing is that the basic idea is applicable to all the regions of Malaysia, because the system of the ventilation is the main cause or the main reason to put it on higher poles. And this is exactly what I wanted to do in the office. So in the office there is the air conditioning. If you would block the panels to the bottom, the air conditioning wouldn't work.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So this is the idea of making the airco, the ventilation, especially now with the all the experience we had on COVID. Seems that respiration and ventilation in the offices and all environments are very much important to keep the virus away. So especially proves that the idea will work still in after 5 years now. So this is a very interesting
it is
evolution.
interesting when you use that kind of interpretation of Malay house. You're not taking everything about the Malay house. You're just taking the certain part, which is the main one, is the pole and the walls itself, right?
Correct.
It is interesting, but I can see some material being used from the recycled plastic. So where is that applied?
In this project?
Yeah.
In the walls, the panel,
the panels is from the recycled plastic.
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay.
All the felt looking material. Let me try to show you it again.
So it's a combination of recycle and so the panel will be recycled from the bottle itself, the felt.
Correct. So the material is well known. If you look at it, it's quite common. It's not. It's not.
Yes.
This is the material.
Okay.
So this green part is recycled bottles, and it's after that. So they chop it and they chip it and they make it as a certain kind of wool, and then they punch needle it into panels, and they can color it. They can make it in different colors, and it's in other terms it's called form fleece.
Form fleece, yeah. Okay.
A lot of companies are making
adapting this.
Yes, are using this to make. If you put the resin in it, you can even make it as a heart shape. I mean, resistant.
Okay. Okay. Anyone would like to ask questions?
I have a question also. Who are the? I don't know how many we are, but who are the? What kind of people are participating in this lecture? Is this mainly students or
students from our local universities and colleges, and some of us from the industry, and some of us from the lecturers as well.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. Okay. You can move on.
The second project, I would like to present to you the last project we did. I mean, not the very last, because unfortunately the very last has not been presented in Malaysia. Unfortunately, due to the Corona crisis. So we have another several, I think 3 or 4 projects which are in the pipeline, which hopefully we can present in the next fair. I don't know if there is any evolution on that. Is there already something decided? Do you know that?
Which one?
About the presentation of fairs in next March?
No news yet.
No news yet. So
yeah, because now it's all held in virtual.
Excuse me?
Virtual exhibition. Now they're having all virtual, but maybe within next year, early next year.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be very nice, because I think we prepared 4 new products. One from a company in Ipoh, one from a company in Penang, one from a company in Klang, and so it would be very, very nice, because they were all ready, and they would be very interesting to show them. But before that, so the year before, 2019, we ended up with a nice project in Muar for the company MTIB, and I'll show you the process. Okay. So TMH is a company we firstly went to see what they can do and to visit. So it's a bit out of the area because it's in Moor, and even then it's more up to the north. So it's far from Moor. But what they do is mainly they make veneer wood. They make it themselves and they peel it. They have an own production line of peeling the wood and making shells like this. This is the main business they do. And we came up with an idea of a chair for private domestic purposes, which is made by a rounded form, which we hopefully could find in the production, so that we don't need to make a new mold, and then with a padded seat and wooden legs. This was the first idea, and this is the end result is the Oslo chair, which you can see here from above, and here's some details. So, which was very important in this project was to make the curved piece connected to the seat without any means of visibility of screws, etc. So this was the main challenge, let's say. The second challenge was that this kind of company only makes chairs which are knocked down, meaning that the seat and the legs should be disconnected and put into a smaller box in order to reduce the shipping volume. Okay. So this is the result we came up with the renderings and the product presentation. And what we also do is make a presentation for press releases before the product is finished. So what we did is have a look into the data of the company who is making the curved pieces, and we picked out one or two which could be applicable for what we need. And then we started to make the CAD drawings in order to make the right development DXF files. We make the color scheme choices, and of course sometimes you need to make more clarification on how the invisibility of the connection is done. So this is the way we made the sketch, and then we executed this into the CAD drawings. So the interesting thing here is that the connection of the back and the side is underneath with a screw and with a bolt here, and then the cover of the seating with upholstery comes, so you never see the finished screws, the finishing screws. So then we came up to see we always do like 2 or 3 trips. First trip is the briefing, second trip is to see the prototypes, and the third trip is to see the final result and the presentation at the fair. As you know, this is the first samples on which we still needed to make some adaptations of small details, and then finally it was presented in the fair, as you can see here. What is interesting in this project is that we extracted it to a bigger line, which is called Oslo extensions. And
was it Oslo extension?
Excuse me?
What is Oslo extension?
The extensions I'll show you immediately is the different when the product is successful, it is interesting to make a family, meaning a brother, a sister, and an uncle, and etc. So this is the
Okay. All
so
right.
this is the basic product, and then we make the table, which is already an extension, and then a longer table, different measures, a low table, coffee table, maybe a stool, as you can see here, or a small table, and a bar stool. So in different sizes. So and the bar table as well. So in no time you can, if the product is successful, in no time you can you can make nice extensions to it. The interesting thing is that in the end, I didn't know there was a client from Spain coming to the fair in March at EFE, and he was interested, and he connected. I mean, he integrated the product into the catalog.
Okay.
And it's called the chair. The company is called Telat, and I show you the result here. So this is the catalog of the company. This is the kind of products they design, and in this way they integrate it. As you can see here, right below.
Oh, okay. Yes.
They integrated the chair in the catalog with their own products. As you can see, they mix and match quite good with it. So the product I show you here is on purpose to show you that the MTIB initiative in this case was very successful. So I think we already sold about 1,000 or 2,000 chairs.
For Oslo chairs.
Yes, but for this company, and this company they rebaptized the chair into Dan chair instead of Oslo.
Okay, that's a nice one. What I think what interesting about this particular chair, because I can see there's a detail that is very, very interesting that maybe some of us also need to note, is actually how the table or the chair stand is not touching the soffit of the cushion.
Legs.
The legs,
cushion.
yeah? The leg. Can you show? Because that little detail is very interesting to see that there's certain details that our local manufacturer can do, but unable to do when we talk to them in certain. So meaning the language can be done.
I can.
I think that's one of your image just now shows that the table is the table or the cushion is actually floated.
Let me check.
Okay.
Can you see the image?
No, it's gray.
Wait. Sharing. This one.
This yeah. Not
No.
this one. Oslo, the Oslo table, the chairs.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm this one.
Yeah. This is very interesting because a little detail like this is very simple, and then you manage to do it with our local manufacturer with a very thin sample of plywood with the backing of the cushion while having the leg floating.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
I mean, I have to say this is the computer ending. The final result is close. It's a little bit thicker, and maybe I can show you the final results. Let me check. Yeah, I think I have the damn chair. This one.
To me, this is part of the design detailing that you're creating from your design idea and having it having it more like a detail design.
Correct. The thing is, you can see it, huh? The chair.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, it asks. This is the product.
Yes.
This is the picture. This is not a rendering. So as you can see, we achieved quite good assimilation with what we designed. And this is the success of the chair, I think.
Yeah.
Because this is the characteristic of the chair, with the floating thing, which makes people to buy it.
That's right. It looks the thing, the whole thing is cantilevered by itself.
Yes. And this is the different nice colors, and also the way the light comes here through and shines on the back is a very nice detail. Also the legs, which are a bit in the back, is also something. So what is important, Noor, about this chair and maybe other projects, is that you always, I mean, that's what I try to do, is I try to make a typology of a chair which people feel good with. So it's not like too extraordinary, like too much trying to be fancy or whatever. So I always try to stick to the basic principles of a nice European design, but I always try to find a way of making some very nice details, which makes the chair impossible or difficult to copy.
It won't get the same result as the original one.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
That is also for the lamp I did for a Belgian company, which is this. Let me check. This is called Lacage. Do you see this lamp?
Not yet.
Okay. This is the first page of the website. So you see this lamp?
Yes.
This is a lamp which I designed in 2008 and has been copied all over the world. When I came in Ipoh, I stepped out the door of the elevator and I bumped into 15 lamps which are hanging on the ceiling, which were almost like an exact copy, but I can see the difference because the difference is in the small pieces.
Yeah.
But this, for instance, is very difficult because one of your colleagues told me that this was a very big hit some 5 years ago. So, and this lamp already exists since 2008. So, it has been copied all over the world. Also,
yes.
also the chair, this chair.
Yeah. Okay.
The VM. Wait, I don't know if I can. It's not in this picture, but there's another chair, which I've been seeing at fairs in all over the world, but it's not from the original company. It's just a copy.
Okay.
So it's always difficult to
control. Yeah.
To control and to manage to, and the only way is to make it specifically difficult to make the production in order to protect the design.
Yeah, to protect the copyright. I think what interesting is actually you managed to come out with that kind of design. It's modern, it's very light, and it's very European type of furniture with our local manufacturer using more furniture from Ipoh, from KL, you managed to get those kind of furniture. Meaning our manufacturer can design or can produce something which is more European like or international kind of design, which is a bright future for our local designer as well to become more original in their design rather than copy and taking from other people and take that design.
This is a bit of the the reason of the PDP program, and I hope they will continue because it's so important to have an own identity and to work with designers who are looking and keep on looking to this specific design and specific characteristics which makes the look of the design original and make it not or difficult to copy.
Difficult, yes. But the most important thing is that actually our local designer, our local manufacturer able to do it. I mean, with your specification, with your design intent, they are able to do it. So that is the most important thing. Yeah. So this is the interesting part where we can explore more design, more ideas into more
of course,
original design. Yeah.
That's very true, but more important also is that the designers need to have a good conversation and try also to push the manufacturer over their own limits because they are now easy as a OEM supplier for other manufacturers. It's very easy. They deliver, like for instance the one I've been working now for in the last PDP 2020-2019 session. They are very how do you say they're very spoiled. they used to be very spoiled because they were just could make 50,000 shells of wood and ship it straight to Canada, and they didn't know what was going to happen with it. So this is the very easy part of the manufacturing. The more difficult part of manufacturing is making a finished product which looks good and is boxed, assembled, and has a typical own design, and then first stage, it is very important to get to know the manufacturer, and that the manufacturer listens to the designer and the designer listens to the manufacturer. So the communication is very important, and also to visit the factory, to have a full hands on the possibilities of what they make, how they make, and how they do it, and what their idea is of their manufacturing in the future. Are they willing to invest in other production techniques, like for instance the needle punch form fleece, as I told you in the beginning? I introduced it, but still the manufacturer needs to invest in this kind of manufacturing, and is willing to buy the right machines in order to make the right cuttings and etc. So the discussion is open when we propose a design, and it will always be like a balance between investment and profit.
Yeah, that's right.
The fastest way is to ship the containers as quick as possible, but the more clever way for the future is more to think of more sustainable investments in product facilities, because Malaysia already lost the competition with the lower paid countries like Indonesia or Vietnam. So they have to focus on quality, they have to focus on good design, and then they can permit themselves not to ship 50 containers a month, but maybe 25, because then I can ask more for the 25.
Yeah,
this is the main focus.
Yeah, this what we've been discussing with last time with Jojo about regarding this. I mean, we have to move slightly towards ODM or OBM. If not, we might losing it to a lower country or upcoming market, which is from Vietnam, Indonesia.
Yes.
So we have to change in terms of is thinking. So what you shown just now is basically our local manufacturer are able to do it with the design intent that normally we are very difficult to get this kind of detail into the local manufacturer. So what you shown just now, from that draft, the design ideas to the inspiration to the final finish, it can be done with minor adjustment, but it's possible. So that is
yes, it's a thin line you have to look for, and if you found this line between possible and not possible, you have to try to replace this line each time, and try to convince them. Like for instance, in the TMH example, we now relied on an existing product, an existing mold shell to make the shape. Next challenge will be to make them a new shell, which with a new, maybe instead of a 2D curved, maybe a 3D curved form. I try to convince them to invest in this kind of machines, but still today it's not possible.
Yeah.
Because of other problems in the company, like the COVID crisis, etc. So, but I hope in the next year, when we crawl out of it, we hope to continue the investment of convincing manufacturers into development processes which can compete with China or even beat them in way of quality.
Yes, correct. Okay, I think I can also address some of the question here. How did you apply your idea into your project to make it look amazing and eye-catching? So this is one of the question. So what is this is open?
Is it for the
Open question? Maybe you can elaborate more.
For the Oslo chair or in general?
In general, yeah.
In general, is difficult to say. What I always did is or always do is always keep on working, or never rely on what you did yesterday, but always try to invent yourself.
Okay.
And automatically you come into a stream of influences which are related to your character. And the character in this case for me is modesty, honest shape, not exaggerated, quite informal, not shouty. And these are the things you're attracted to in general life, and then you try to apply them into your design. So it's always good to have a discussion on that, on who you are and what kind of movies do you like to see, what kind of food you like to eat, what kind of countries you like to visit, what kind of books you like to read. All these things matter in order to create and design identity.
Yes, correct. I think it's correct because we have to keep working on developing. So it cannot be a one time of design process, right?
It's never a one-time shot. Sometimes you have a lucky shot that is possible, but still in the end you will see that after the lucky shot you will see that you maybe already knew what you were doing, but you couldn't pronounce it and you just did it. So that is possible, but it will always be lifted or play a role in a higher context of awareness and character.
Yeah. Okay, I move to another question. What is your thought process when coming up with possible design for a design? Ideas for a design in general as well.
Well, it depends on if it is the client who is asking for a new product or if it's me coming up with a new product. This is two different kind of approaching. So in the studio, we have assignments from companies who ask us to make a new collection for this kind of public, etc. So you're restricted with some kind of with some kind of
design brief.
Yes.
Yeah.
With brief, but also with like age or maybe a target group and all these things. So then you're more restricted, but as a designer you should know how to tackle or handle, and then you try to put your own character into the brief, because if the client comes to you, he asks you because he thinks what you did in the past is appealing or is related to what he wants or what he is looking for. So the communication here again is quite important, that you start a connection and to feel what the clients like and wants, and if you don't have to be afraid of when it doesn't work in words. It's maybe to maybe stop the communication or the collaboration before going further, because if you don't feel the connection with the company and you're not related to what the company stands for and what is, and I always ask them so can you briefly tell me what is your company, who are you, and what do you stand for, what are your values, and also in the beginning I didn't show them to you today, but I always try to make a mood board about the company and what it stands for, in order to have a good checklist of in which direction we need to develop the new product. So this is very assignment related. On the other hand, we do also work from ourselves and come up with ideas, because as a designer you never stop sketching. As you can see here, I have this little book, and I always carry.
That book.
Yeah, you know that book, so I always carry them with me, and I always try to make new ideas. Excuse me. I always try to make the ideas which come up into my mind and put them on paper. So I put them down for a while, and then after a while I pick them back up and I try to make a proposal. So I make them in a full 3D proposal, which goes into a file, and now and then I pick it up and I try to find a appropriate client to present it to.
Okay, understand. Okay, from Vanessa, the quality was doable. Yes, it is true. But what you shown us just now, we can do that kind of design, that which is European design, can also be done here. So this is the thing that is great about our local manufacturer. They can adapt. Yes. Okay. We move on.
Think.
Yeah. To another question from Sarah Rahman. Do you think the Malaysian local wood has the potential in furniture design manufacture in the future, perhaps?
Yes.
Yes.
You should stop making all products in rubber wood. You have much more nicer wood than rubber wood.
Yeah.
But you all, the crazy thing I experienced is that you all export the very beautiful wood you have. You export it, and then you import wood from Europe.
Yeah, some of it from pine, ash,
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's in oak.
The wood,
as though you have a very nice wood by yourself. So it's
yeah, it is correct. Yes, we mostly import from outside, but we export our local timber to the outside. Yeah, I think what we have in our industry, the use of local rubber wood is the choice, because maybe of the economic point of view.
Of course, this is the only choice, but and you have to see it in the longer run.
Yeah, but what kind of wood that they use for your Oslo furniture just now?
It's ash.
Ash. Okay.
From the outside is ash veneer.
Okay.
And the feet, I think, is also ash. So I think it's imported.
Mm-hmm.
So you import it in Malaysia, you produce, and then you export back to Europe.
Yeah. That's
what happens.
That has been the process here. But what interesting is actually maybe the use of timber of that color or that particular color is not easily find here. What we have here is only like.
I would like to do research on that.
Yeah. Okay. It is interesting to look into that. Okay. Another one from Lim Zing Hui. From MSU, what do you find most challenging about designing furniture for a home?
That's an interesting one. As a designer, you always try to design what you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you need a bed, you need to design a bed. You try to find a client who makes beds and then design it for him.
Okay, that's more than. Okay, shall we move on to another question? Okay, what is the one piece of advice you would give a design student, especially when they have designer's block? What is that? Is it?
Yes, I see the question. I understand. When try to make your tasks in your design studio or your design practice or student life, try to make it as variable as possible. So try not to focus only on one product. Try to make. I always give my workers in the studio when he or she is working on a project too long, I always say, like, listen, just leave it for today and pick up another project. Try to
refresh
your brain and to to look into another project, because then the other project is going for a rest a bit, and it's very important not to, because focusing on a good design is very exhausting. So you need to relax sometime.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good advice for that one. I mean, it doesn't have to be constant idea flowing. I mean, it's impossible.
No.
Okay. Any other question that I would like to hear from the floor?
I have a last project which I want to share.
Oh yeah, yes, please. You have
Is that okay?
Okay, Ken.
Yes, it's another project. It's not furniture. And it's cookware.
Oh yeah.
As you asked to, can you see it?
Yes.
So as you can see here, this is the company Schöning, and is one of the oldest companies in the world. Just a second, I'm gonna fill my.
Okay, while waiting, you can type your question if you have.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
So as you can see here, this is the oldest, or one of the oldest companies in Europe making knives, cutlery knives, sharp knives, and razor blades, and etc. It has been founded in 1731. Can you imagine? It's quite a long time ago. It's almost 400 years ago. And the company is called Schöning, and Schöning means, as you can see in the logo, is a twin.
Yeah.
So, a very interesting company in Germany. As you can see here, the old factory was, from the beginning, very old. And the owner, or the man who started the company, was called Johann Andreas Henkels, and the place where it is in Germany is Solingen. So they make this kind of pieces of knives, like for barbers, and for also scissors. This is all in the beginning what they made, and still today they're very well known for the knives for the kitchen, like this kind of things. But then more recently, some 5 or 10 years ago, they started making also cookware. What is very particular on this company is that they own their own shops. So if you go to any the IOI or any mall in Malaysia, you always find the shop of Henkels, of Schöning Henkels. You have to check on that. And there you can find the products we designed. We designed quite a lot of series in the last years. So this is very typical for them, is to keep their hands on the sales, and to see that all the products are presented in the good way, because they have their own shops and they can make a nice presentation. So of course, also this kind of assignments, they start with a brief. The brief is like, listen, we have to make a new series of cookware for this kind of market. And actually this one, which I'm going to show you, I was briefed to make it for the Russian market. And you know why? Because the Russian market is keen on having a lid, as you can see here, in glass. So they like to see what they cook. It's quite, I didn't know that. So, but this was the initial brief, was to make a series of handles and pots and steel pans and baking pans, and with the lid which was made of glass. The final result was this one. And as you can maybe see or notice, this looks very ordinary. But again, here, which is typical for the design I make, is that the handle, which is normally straight, is here a little bit curved, and it needs to make a special tooling to do this. So in the beginning, they didn't say, no, we cannot make it. And I said, yes, you have to make an investment on the tooling of this. And of course, it's a huge cost because every set of pots and pans, they have different sizes. So they come from 20 to 22, 23. So every handle is a different mold. So this is making pots is very cost invested. But the final result is this piece of cookware, in which you can see the handle is has the nice elegant curve. And actually, we didn't end up to sell it in Russia, but we sold it worldwide, and they have sold millions of it. So what I want to say is that sometimes you start up with a briefing, and you end up with a different kind of market. So meaning that sometimes the marketing department is not always right. Okay, so they say we want to make it for this market, but finally it was sold all over the world. As you can see here is how we make the prototypes. We make with 3D printing and then color it in the color. As you can see, it looks plastic, but you can see the result if the handle is not too big or comfortable enough. And then finally you see the presentation in the catalog, on the website, and in the fair. This is the fair I was telling you about in Ambiente, in which is a very important fair to show household products. If you ever come to Europe and you have the ability to visit, it's quite important for designers and to see.
Where is it exactly?
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, okay. All right. Okay. So it's quite unique to have the handle is longer than is normally do in normal cookware.
Yeah.
Okay. I may have some question from the floor.
Yes, please.
Okay. How do you deal when you have different aesthetic sense with your team? I think this is a working together with a team kind of input.
And if there is differences in what?
Aesthetic sense, meaning I might be saying
yes, very important. Yes. The aesthetics of the design, this is why the studio is called after me, is always going to me. So if we try not to argue about the final result.
So meaning if your name is your design, nothing can change that.
Yes, I'm a dictator.
It's quite straightforward. Okay. All right, but again, you are open also to some discussion.
Of course, I'm really curious, but I have the thing is that and this comes also to the question previously asked, is that how do you come to this refinement of design is just the characteristics of the studio, and you can easily step into it if you really understand. Somebody else can really do. It's like making this comics. We are a country in Belgium which is very known for comics. The books with characters and everything.
Yeah.
And we have quite a lot of series which has been created 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and the initial designer of the characters, they already died, but it has become a studio, and the studio, the people working in the studio, they draw exactly in the same spirit and in the same way as the initial creator, because they understand what the characteristics are. And this is the same thing if you want to design for a brand. If you want to make a brand, you need to state the values of the brand. What is the value? What is the brand standing for? It's standing for I can tell you, for instance, IKEA. What is IKEA stands for? Can you imagine you design for IKEA? You can design for IKEA if you know the values. The values, they are large numbers of production, low costs, knockdown, Nordic style, light colored, simple assembly, etc. So if you understand all these characteristics, IKEA could be a designer, right?
Yeah.
You work for.
Yeah, it's true. Meaning the whole idea has been put into a one place, so everybody can follow.
Yeah, but it's very important to have the
Yeah.
discussion with your client in order to understand what he wants and to understand the values of a company. If the values of the company does, like for instance, I don't know, a company who is making Cadillac cars. If they would ask me to design a car, I would never say no. I would never say yes, because I don't have a connection with the brand.
Yeah.
So you need to understand the values of the brand in order to apply for the job.
That's right.
But it works in both ways. It works in both ways. If the company doesn't understand you, he will never come to you and ask for the job, unless he wants to win money and ask 50 designers and come up with your idea. I'll take the cheapest one.
Yeah.
That's the short-term thinking, right?
Okay. All right. Jasvi from UOW KDU. Good day, Mr. Stefan. May I ask that what is the joinery using for the most of the furniture, such as link space furniture and the Sava chair?
What is the most what?
Is the most of the furniture, such as link space furniture and the Sava chair? I'm not quite sure what is the question is. What is Sava chair?
Neither do I.
So okay, maybe we can pass, and then maybe Jeffy can further elaborate the question. Okay. Hello Stefan. My name is Coach Bu. What do you think about biomimicry in furniture design? Okay.
About what?
Biomimicry.
What is that?
Biomimicry is taking the idea from the vegetation molecules and turn into a design inspiration. The whole structure of that biomimicry is actually taken from that kind of parts of the plants. You seen that one?
I haven't seen it. So can I ask him or she to send me more details to me directly so we can have discussion later?
I think.
I would like to get to know more about it. So if he or she can directly send to me to my email or WhatsApp, I can have a look at it after the webinar. Maybe it's not something to discuss here.
Yeah. Okay. That one can further discuss.
Yes. That is applicable for everybody. If anybody has more questions.
Yeah. Okay, from just again, is the product stated just now? What is the joinery using? Okay,
the joinery.
Joinery,
the joinery for the chair.
Between the, I think the link space that you shown just now.
Yeah. I can show you.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Maybe Coach Bu can show some images later.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, this is the one.
Well.
Okay. Yeah.
These are the panels.
Yeah.
And in between every place where there is a beam, we integrate. This is the beam of wood, and then we take out this part and fill in this piece, which comes in with screws. So there's a slat with rectangular holes, as you can see.
Yeah.
And then this part is the corner piece, which comes together. These two, the left part and the right part.
Okay.
They hook here into.
Yeah, I think this method called prong system.
This is the detail.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah. This method called prong system, right?
Yeah, this is the metal piece with hooks.
Yeah.
This is the metal piece with hooks. This part comes covered. This part comes covered with the fleece.
Yeah.
So, and these hooks, they come out, they stick out, and you can hook them together into the into the beam.
Yeah.
So the hooks, they are invisible because they are hidden here.
Hidden, yes. Hidden between the
yes
the felt and the panel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You see, this is the back. This is the one part, and this is the other. And the hooks, they come inside here. It's a very pity we didn't succeed in continuing the project. So it's still open for manufacturing. If you know anybody.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Here you can see the detail.
Okay.
See, this is the hook going into in here as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a simple
Actually,
detail.
it was very nice. It was really well executed.
Yeah.
Very interesting. See, this very okay. It needs to more studying because sometimes it was a bit wobbly and etc. But after all, it was a first prototype, so we can really go on and continue in making it more elaborate. Actually, this is the picture of a series for this company. See. In the mall in Malaysia.
In Malaysia, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So this is not copied, right?
No, it's not copy. It's to see the logo and everything.
Yeah.
There was a serious discount. Yes, I can tell you.
Okay,
This was,
I think it's good to hear to have
Giorgio,
at least one of your product is not copied.
No, one of them, yes, at least. Luckily.
Okay, any other question from the floor? We open. Maybe we have a little bit more time to discuss. We can open to live question if you wish. Ask question on this. Okay.
Yes. Hello. My name is Nazim Hasban from Management and Science University, Bachelor Graphic Design student. My question to you, Mr. Stefan. What would you say would be possibly like a project you did that is more or less like most enjoyable because you have more creative freedom over it? Which project specifically, and why is it so?
Maybe the projects which you are getting a bit more freedom.
Basically, I don't know. It's more or less like around like satisfaction from like doing said project, basically.
That's a difficult question because I like to do the different kind of things. I can share you the portfolio I have here, which you can also download from the website, and you can see in the first page you see the overall products, and you see I did do like these kind of products because what is interesting in this product and this product, this is a coat hanger and this is the lamp. The nice thing of it is that it lasts. This coat hanger has been selling for the last 15 years. And
the
of course,
specific coat hanger right there.
Yes, this one.
All right.
For the Italian company, and it hasn't been copied, luckily. But the nice thing is that it has been selling for the last 15 years, and of course the income of a designer is as much as important as the satisfaction of what he designs and he creates. But when it comes together, it's always nice. But another project is this seat, as you can see here next to it. It's actually not a seat; it's a wall which we did for a coastal defense on the rising sea. So this is a
okay.
a product related to the public, and that is also very satisfactory, since the product is designed for Mr. Nobody, meaning that you don't know the client. If you sell cutlery, you have always people who say, "Oh, I have seen this cutlery and I would like to buy it. Can you inform me? Can you inform me about the manufacturer?" So that is very nice, so that you have the idea of who your clients are. But in public design, you never know who you're designing for, and this is quite nice as well.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Because like that kind of like exact thing that you mentioned, like the wall, like the wall that you mentioned about, it actually, you said it's more like coastal defense, right? It says more or less like coastal defense.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, but like I feel like the more like people use it, it's like it reminds me more of like a seeding concept, lah. Because you normally see those like in public parks around the world, especially here in Malaysia as well. We've seen a lot of those as well. So that's my take on it. Anyways,
All right. Thank you very
Mr.
much
Stefan.
for your question. We can take
Thank you,
another
Stefan.
one more question before we end. Another question, please, if you have. So okay, I think okay, I think that's about it. I think there's one more question here on the chat box. What do you think is the future of furniture design? Is it in Malaysia? I guess so. Yeah.
Well, as I've been trying to explain, it's important to try to stand out with the design and try to find a way of making this kind of products, which are really not mainstream, but mainstream enough to reach a good public, meaning in quantities. So this is a balance between commercial and specific, and standing out with the design, and that means investment in new technologies, investment in environmental technologies. I think in the next years we have to really focus on this part of the design process, meaning the zero waste, CO2 neutral, etc.
Okay. I think that's should wrap up our webinar today. I think what is interesting to learn today is basically what is possible and what are the things that can make it possible. I mean, through discussion, through kind of mediation between the manufacturer and the designers, we have to find
constant collaboration is the key word. Not just one-off, but a long-during relationship with enough communication.
Yes, communication and collaboration between the designers
and last but not least, friendship.
Friendship, yes, that is the most important. Build up friendship and trust between designers and manufacturers. I think what you shown just now is interesting because I mean at one time our local manufacturers or our designers having thoughts that we can only copy from the international market and make it here without and then losing it a bit on the details, on the beauty of those joinery and so on. But what you have shown just now, it is possible to produce here with the same originality, having them to do it for the Malaysian market or especially for international market. So I think that is possible, and it's a bright future for our local designer to move from copying to producing their own brand, own design process that is more relevant to international design and of course Malaysia. I think that is the most important things. What you shown just now, the manufacturer can do it. So I think there's a stigma that always believe that local manufacturer cannot do it. cannot do this and
It's
that. Yeah.
it's
But
possible, but it's a long discussion, and we have to focus on this evolution. So we have to
yes,
stimulate them, we have to support them to
yeah.
invest in new product technologies and etc.
Yeah, that's correct. I think that's a chance to move to that dimension. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, I think that is a very interesting discussion. We have learned a lot today from you. Thank you very
Hmm.
much for your time.
Thank you so much.
It is difficult because it's the morning time, and you're
Hmm.
rushing in the peak hours.
Hmm.
So thank you everyone. I think this will continue again in our next session with different designers, and we talk about how this industry, especially in design industry, move into a right direction, especially in Malaysia. So thank you again. I think there's a link for the attendance. People can actually look into that. So thank you again. Thank you, Stefan,
Thank you.
for attending.
Okay.
Okay, and thank you for the committee, and thank you for the participants. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hope you
Thumbs
well
up.
and enjoy. Hope to see you
Bye.
again in Belgium.
Bye. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for the talk.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait, so we may leave now then, sir?
Yes. You can sign in for the attendance.
Already
Yeah.
have.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All
Hopefully to
right.
see you again in the future for our next webinar.
Hopefully. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thanks for today. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Bye.
it. Thank you.